evening, Commissioners. My name is Beverly VanBenthuysen, and I'm the mother of two beautiful children that both have special needs. My son is 11 years old and has autism. My daughter is 5 and has apraxia, which means she cannot talk. The first time we were in Judge Guffey's court, I was awarded custody of the children. Less than 2 months later, with no warning, no trial, no hearing, 2 policemen and 2 caseworkers showed up at my door, and the caseworker, Brittany Benefield, waved a piece of paper saying the judge signed it. No reason why the kids were being taken was ever given. Then my children were immediately thrown into foster care that day, which was already set up for them. This was a planned attack. Since that day, I have had many rights taken away from me in Judge Guffey's court. My First Amendment rights, my Fourth Amendment rights, my parental rights, my visitation rights, my HIPAA rights, and my kids' disability rights have been grossly violated in this court. I have officially reported Judge Guffey and others in her court to the Office of Civil Rights. I am currently in the process of retaining a civil rights attorney to pursue this further. That doesn't even begin to mention the criminal charges. In Judge Guffey's court, there's a rampant and destructive wave of perjury, fraud, bias, and falsification of records. I currently have this under investigation, and charges will be filed soon. That does not even begin to mention the bailiffs. Yes, I said bailiffs, who rotate in and out of the courtrooms every 30 minutes. In doing this, they talk openly about these cases and that they are hearing and their ignorant opinions to the mix. While witnesses are sitting there waiting to testify, they joke around about who's guilty and who's not. This is called prejudicing a witness. Influencing a witness in a just court should be a mistrial. This was actually documented in my case by my witness on the stand who testified at Judge Guffey, what the bailiffs were doing out in the hall. Judge Guffey wrote something down on our notepad, but nothing was done. Since then, I have been in the courtroom 2 other times, and apparently nothing is going to be done because the bailiffs were still openly talking about all the cases. If Judge Guffey cannot handle the employees in her court, then maybe she should be replaced. I still can't understand why my children were removed from their home. It was definitely not for their benefit. There's nothing in Child Protective Services is there to protect my kids. My kids never knew abuse or mental torture until they entered the system. I had no charges against me, and I still do not. And the house has been deemed safe by the system. But yet they ripped these 2 special needs kids away from a safe and loving environment of their mother. But if they were not put into the system, the caseworkers couldn't get their bonuses. The system is selfish. It's all about the money, not the kids. It is a pay-to-play system, and I also have that under investigation. Not one bit of effort has been exerted to unify my family. Instead, I have been threatened, and so has my son. I have been told your bond with your son is too strong and needs to be broken. Then I said, like hell. Then that person moved closer to me and said, look, if you don't do everything that the DCS tells you to do, you will never see your kids again. Who would say something like this to a mother? But that person didn't realize that the person that's standing next to me was not DCS, but my witness that heard the whole threat. The same person later threatened my son. He wanted to put my son in a mental institution because he couldn't handle my son's meltdowns. When confronted, this person denied everything, but I trust my son. 1, because if you know autistic kids, it's very hard for them to lie. And 2, he threatened an adult, me, so why would he not threaten a child? This system is grossly broken. My kids have enough to deal with having their special needs, but when a heartless system can rip kids like this out of their home and not care about the trauma it causes, then this system needs to be revised or better yet replaced. Also, I would like to mention that I have requested copies of my transcripts multiple times and have not received them. I tried multiple times to record sessions and have been heavily reprimanded. I have a right to my transcripts. I feel that this court withholds them so their corruption can be contained. Again, I am not an isolated incident. What Judge Guffey's court does not understand is that I'm an American citizen born and raised. And in America, we have the Constitution to protect our rights. Her courtroom is lawless and resembles the witch trials of the 1800s, where they can make up whatever they want about you, whether it's true or not, and convict you for it. This is not Salem. So, Commissioners, I ask you, as the rulers of this county, how do you want your county to be seen? This is the 17th wealthiest county in the country. Do you want this to be the next Salem of the United States?
Beverly, 15 seconds.
My kids were my full-time job, but since Judge Guffey took them away, exposing the corruption of the system is my new job. The day they came to the door and turned my life upside down is the day an advocate was born. And looking at the other parents here tonight, I can see the same is true with them. All I can say is we are not isolated incidences. And the ones here tonight are just the tip of the iceberg. But But I can tell you that we, the people, are going to loudly and fiercely exercise our First Amendment rights to shine light on this devastating corruption for the love of our kids. I'd like to thank you for your time.